All right, let's talk about something you probably think you know like the back of your hand, fruit. But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The world of botany is kind of weird, and it's about to make you question everything you thought you knew about the produce aisle. So let's just jump right in with a question. A banana. We all know it, right? Maybe you had one for breakfast. But here's the thing. Is it technically a berry? I mean, your first instinct is probably, no way, of course not. It just doesn't feel like a berry, does it? Okay, but then what about this? The strawberry. I mean, come on, berry is literally in its name. It's the poster child for berries. It has to be one, right? Well, what if I told you it isn't? And yeah, that's where our story really begins. I know. It sounds completely upside down. The banana is a berry, but the strawberry isn't. Welcome to what I like to call the berry paradox. But don't worry, we're going to break this whole thing down and make sense of this crazy botanical puzzle. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what we think a berry is, in our everyday lives. This is basically the chef's definition or what you'd think of at the grocery store. Usually we're picturing something, small, sweet, a little squishy, right? Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, that whole crew. They're the kind of fruit you can just pop in your mouth, they grow on bushes. And look, that's a perfectly good common sense definition until a botanist walks into the room. And that's where we need to switch gears. See, when scientists are classifying stuff, they couldn't care less about how it tastes or how big it is. Nope, they're looking at its structure, how it develops, and where it comes from. This is where we get to the real botanical truth. So check this out. The official scientific definition of a true berry, it's got nothing to do with being small and sweet. It's actually all about the flower it came from. A true berry is a fleshy fruit that comes from a single flower that has one ovary. That's it. That's the whole rule. So we can actually boil this down to a super simple two-step test. Want to know if something's a real berry? Just ask these two questions. 1, did it grow from just one flower? And 2, did that flower have only one ovary? If you can say yes to both, congratulations, you found yourself a berry. All right, let's bring in our first suspect, the banana. It's time to put it through our two-step berry test and see how it does. Okay, let's do this. Question 1. Does a banana grow from one single flower? Yep, it absolutely does. The whole fruit comes from just one flower on the plant. Okay, question 2. Does that flower have only one ovary? Yes, again, the banana flower's single ovary is what becomes the fruit we end up eating. So it passes the test with flying colors.
And there it is. The verdict is in. Botanically speaking, a banana is a berry. And you know those little tiny black specks in the middle? Those are actually the undeveloped seeds. Mind blown yet?
Okay, but hold on. That's only half of the paradox. Now, we've got to investigate the imposter in our midst, the fruit that seems like it should be the definition of a berry, but somehow fails the test. Let's talk about the strawberry. So, let's run the test. Does a strawberry grow from a single flower? Yes, it does. So far, so good. But here's the kicker. Question 2, does that flower have only one ovary? Nope, not even close. A strawberry flower actually has a whole bunch of ovaries, and that right there is the deal breaker. Which means the verdict is in, the strawberry is not a true berry. Get this, that yummy red part we eat, that's actually the swollen part of the flower's stem. And those little yellow things on the outside that we think are seeds, each one of those is technically its own tiny little fruit, each from a different ovary. The crazy scientific name for it is an aggregate accessory fruit. Yeah, good luck saying that 5 times fast. And you know what? The banana is not alone in this secret berry club. Now that you know the rule, one flower, one ovary, you're going to start seeing true berries everywhere. Grapes? Totally berries. Tomatoes? Yup, they're berries too. Kiwis? Even avocados are berries. They're just really big berries with one giant seed. And just to completely mess with you, so are eggplants. So it really just goes to show you that context is everything, right? In the kitchen, call a strawberry a berry all you want. But in a science lab, it's all about that flower. And now you have this amazing piece of trivia that's going to make you look at the grocery store in a totally different way. So go on, peel that knowledge and share it with someone.